Hi, today I want to talk about content on nonprofit and charity homepage. Lots of nonprofit homepages are the content-wise is not well structured. It is not really clear to users why the organization exists, why you exist, and how you are helping client or how you're helping communities. So I'd like to probably show you some examples of how you can fix it. And before we dive into, I just want to remind you that the people's attention span, probably you know it, but I just want to remind you that the human's attention span is actually shorter than goldfish. The average of the attention span for browsing website is about 7 seconds. So you have really short time to grab the attention. So here is a typical nonprofit website homepage. You can see on the top, people start with hero slider, and then just one below that, they put who we are, which is about us. This is like people really don't care about your organization. I mean, they want to know eventually, but that's not really the top thing you want to put onto your homepage. And the one below that, people usually put what we do, and then if the organization is dynamic enough, they put the events and news. They're going to put the dynamic content, and then at the bottom, some donation and volunteer how you can get involved, and some call to action buttons here too. And then on the bottom is a footer. Footer is usually they put some menus and more categories. This is mostly for SEO purpose. Let's go through some of the homepage websites so we know what I'm talking about. So here's one example. Again, so starting with who we are, it doesn't really tells me what they do and why they exist. People tend to put who we are first. And here's another example. And again, the who, so talking about who we are and what they do, and the vision and mission, and some workshop here, but it doesn't really tells me why this organization exists. Now here's another example. This website or this homepage, it's not only it doesn't tell me what they do and why this organization exists, also this seems to put everything on the homepage. I understand that homepage is really important, but they try to put everything, and as a result, it's very hard to digest the content. And here is a local food bank. Food bank, most people understand what they do and why they exist, so you probably don't need to express. I think lots of visitor wants to know how we can get involved, and some like most of clients want to know where and what kind of services they can get. So on this homepage, again, so you probably have to click it. You can click it, and then you can probably see how you can get involved too. But remember, you've got only 7 seconds. You don't want user to click so many times to find the information they're looking for. Here is a good example about food bank, and I like this in terms of content structure. So it's a food bank, and they start with the program and the services. That's, I think most of the people need to know what kind of services. That's for client, how they can get food, what kind of service they provide. And also, on the other hand, this is for supporters. How can we help? How can we get involved? So the program, they use tabs. So it's very simple, but the information people are looking for is right there. So they don't have to click so many times to find information what they want. So here is my suggestions how you can fix the content structure on your homepage. Different organizations have different mission, the statement, and different vision, different programs. So I cannot really generalize content structure. But give you some example. This wireframe is, let's assume this is a Humane Society website. helping dog and cats and other animals. So on the top, you want to start with, you want to tell visitors what this site is about, right? So let's say, we are here to prevent animal homelessness, something like that. And you got some call to action. And the next is, again, like why your organization exists. So here's a mission statement, or like what kind of problem do we have in our community or society. So here's an example. 2.7 million animals are killed every year. Something like this stats is pretty strong statement. So that's why your organization exists, to solve this problem. And the next is how your organization helps. So here's, you can briefly talk about your programs and services, maybe some events that the supporter or your client can participate. And it doesn't have to be a lot, only like small portion. And then you can create a link to see more details about the programs and the services you provide. And I think it's important that what kind of impact or what kind of progress you have made. So little, this is just a visual design, but I'm not going to talk about the visual design today. But I'm talking about more content structure. So you probably want to talk about what kind of impact or progress you've made. And then the real story or testimonials is that here's the social proof. So lots of people emotionally get engaged hearing about the real people's story or some testimonials. So here's just an example that Meet Happy Families. We can probably talk about family who adopted dogs and cats, and then you can probably add call to action, and you can see more story. And lastly, you have to tell visitors how they can get involved, how they can help, right? So whether they can get the volunteer, maybe some donations. So it's generally, you want to probably tell stories from the top to bottom. So that's how you want to structure content. It's not just talking about who you are and what you do, because we have about page anyway, so that people can, if they are interested in knowing more about your organization, what you're doing, they can go to About Us page. So I hope this helps, and then you can probably apply this structure, because homepage is very important and people doesn't have lots of attention span. If you can't grab their attention, likely they will leave your homepage.